Hello. What a joy it is to be presenting for the Florida ACDA SOS Serving Our Singers Convention of 2020 in this new and exciting virtual format. Thank you for tuning in, and it is an honor to be alongside so many incredible presenters. I look forward to this weekend and all the wonderful things that they have to offer. This year, we all know, it's been problematic, it's been frustrating, it's been unglamorous. It's been just downright hard. And over the 18 years of my career, this is by far the most difficult year that I've experienced. But it's also been the most innovative. And it has been the one that has demanded a creative spirit out of all of us. And I commend each of you for taking some time for some reflection and some professional development. And I'm humbled to be in this position to present a little something. I hope to be able to give you some techniques or bits of information that might be useful come Monday when we find ourselves all back in the classroom again, surrounded by these wonderful singers who are trying so hard and putting in so much. I just hope that they're recognizing the hard work of each of you. This session is titled Expressive Conducting While Masked. How can I conduct effectively when they can't see my face? This is a problem that I was thinking about all summer long. If I'm conducting in a mask, what are the singers going to respond to? We, choral directors, have spent decades perfecting the perfect marriage of face and hands. So take that away. How do we use this more effectively? The handout for this session can be found at a website, www.uwfsingers.com/ACDA. I'll put the handout for this session there, and I will also upload some of the materials that I'll be presenting for you. We at UWF, the University of West Florida, we've been holding outdoor rehearsals on a weekly basis with the entire group. We've been doing sectionals during the day indoors. But our outdoor rehearsals have looked something like this. And all of us have been masked while singing, including myself while directing. My apologies to my mentor, Jerry McCoy, for holding a pencil instead of a baton in this photo. Like all of you, once COVID hit this summer, and I started creating my school plans for the year, and deciding I would teach in a mask always, and encourage my singers to be in a mask always, suddenly I felt like half my world was gone. Half of my communication mechanisms were taken away from me. I have my hands, yes, but I've lost my face, and I've lost my words, because it's seemingly more difficult to be understood through a mask. Now I'd like to liken this to an aircraft. We have 4 engines at play. We have our left hand, we have our face, we have our words, we have our right hand. As the COVID situation worsened and it was determined that we would be masked, it felt like we lost these 2. Being left only with our left hand and right hand. Now that's not entirely true. It's taken me some time to realize that regarding the face, we still have our eyes. How are we using them? We still have our words. They're fewer, but words matter. Words matter now more than they ever have before. Are we building our students or tearing them down? And then regarding left hand and right hand, are we maximizing their independence? Are we maximizing their efficiency through independence? Or are we relying on doubling to prove our point? If we're relying on doubling our hands, meaning the right hand and the left hand are doing the same thing, then yes, that helps drive a certain point home, but that really is only operating on one engine. So today we're going to talk about these 4 elements. We're going to talk about our faces, how we can use them to the fullest. We're going to talk about our words. We're going to talk about left hand and right hand and work for some sort of independence and clarity in the conducting gesture. So let's focus just for the next few minutes on what item of the face do we still have? We still have the eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. The eyes communicate far more than I think I even realized. Once we cover this up and we have only this, how much can we say through these eyes? Are you looking at your students in their eyes? I found that the first few weeks of teaching, I was distracted by this on their faces, especially the ones who are wearing a cute comic strip or have a mask with notation on it or things like that. So I've made a concerted effort to not look at the mask, but move my gaze to the eyes and truly communicate. Look at their eyes, see how they are feeling, determine what they need. Now, I've always struggled with eye contact as a director for two reasons. First, when I was 5 years old, I started playing the piano. And I identified as a pianist primarily all the way up through early college. And a pianist, when they're playing the piano, you're focused on the keys, you're reading the music, but then when you're truly listening and tuning, you're looking up, you're looking down, and you're taught to focus on nothing, to look through the music or to look through the instrument and really allow these to dominate your musicianship. So, as I'm conducting, I found that my gaze would often wander, or if I'm tuning a chord, I do this instead of this. Another problem, as a child actor, I did a lot of stage work from age 9 to 10 up through early high school. And in the theater or dance, you're taught to move your gaze to the exit signs at the back of the hall, thereby not making eye contact with people and not losing focus amidst your performance. So it was very common for me to be conducting my choir and looking beyond them across the tops of their heads. Here I thought I was mimicking eye contact with them, and yet I saw no one in the room. There were days where the students would leave the classroom and I wouldn't even know they were there. This was could be only augmented by the fact that now we're putting them in masks. So, 2 years ago I resolved that learning to make eye contact with the students would be crucial to my growth as a conductor. So, I found a trusted student named Olivia, and I gave Olivia, I know this is so kindergarten, but I gave Olivia my eyes, okay? And she stood in the back of the choir, and while we were singing, if I was looking beyond them, across the tops of their heads, I even had one director and coach tell me one time, never look at the students, always look at the back row of students, because the rest of the choir feels like you're looking at all of them that way. And so now we've got a conglomeration of 3 bad advices that led to me avoiding eye contact in the rehearsal. So Olivia held these up, and she sat in the back row, and she'd sung with me for 3 years, and I trusted her. So when I would lose eye contact, and I was conducting, she would hold up these eyes way up over her head, and then slowly bring them down to her face. And I asked her, do this 2 to 3 times a rehearsal. So for an entire 2 or 3 months, she would hold them up, and my eyes would slowly come down. You know what I learned during this exercise? I learned that I started treating the students like humans, not like an instrument. I started seeing their needs in rehearsal. And now I make it a point to make eye contact with each individual singer during every piece of music on the stage. Can I connect with Dylan, and then Jessica, and then Nicole, and then Allison, and give them what they need during that piece? I also am less short with the choir because they've become people to me, not just instruments at command. And last week I had a particularly moving moment during one of our pieces. We were recording outdoors in the dark, And even though it was dark and I couldn't see this particular student's eyes, I knew that we locked eye contact. And it meant the world to me to be able to communicate in that way. So don't underestimate the value of the eyes. Make the effort to look past the mask and communicate with those students in this meaningful way. Now on to the second and crucial engine of words. Words matter. Words matter now more than they ever have before. Our students are working so hard and bringing their best selves to rehearsal every day. Are we returning that favor by giving them words of affirmation and positivity? I know you are. Keep up the good work. We're going to talk about the importance of words and delivery of words, but then we're also going to talk about the complexities that is choral music, which is a text-based medium, in a time where text is difficult to understand. So first, as a director, if you aren't already, I would highly recommend using a mask that is pulled away from the face, that will allow for your articulators to enunciate clearly. Also, a lapel mic or lavalier mic greatly enhances the student's ability to understand you. We all know that sarcasm has no place in the rehearsal, and we've been talking about that for a while now. On those couple occasions when I've slipped up this year, and I have, it's been a frustrating year. On those occasions where I have slipped up this year, I've noticed that with the absence of most of my face, sarcasm really doesn't work, okay? They don't see the smile after. The students don't see the repentance process that happens during a sarcastic moment. So just be aware of that. Names. A person's name is the most beautiful word in the English language to them. Use their names. Use them often. When you're calling on students, I'm using names more often now than I ever have. Even just for small comments. How do you feel about that, Brittany? James, what are you thinking right now? Using the names doesn't add much time to your rehearsal, but it sure means a lot to that student. I stole an idea from our friend and colleague down the road at FSU, Judy Arthur, who ends her freshman class, the young babies, okay, who ends that class with the question of, Caitlin, name something that you've done this week that you're proud of. And we've been ending our rehearsals with that, with just a quick fire, name something you're proud of. And most of the time it's something as simple as, I got my homework done, or I woke up and got out of bed today. And they're helping to build each other up in that manner. Ask the students how they're doing once in a while. I wrote an email to the whole choir a couple weeks into the semester, because I'm trying to make class just business as usual. But I sent out an email and said, how are you? And one student responded with a very honest response of, I didn't know how bad I needed to be asked that until you asked. So ask them how they're doing. Check in. Whether if it fits in your class time, great. If you need to do it outside of class, great. Just check in once in a while. I understand that for many of us, mouthing the words is crucial in helping our students memorize. Maybe this is a semester where we can't do much of that, okay? Maybe this is a semester where using music and allowing for the printed scores in front of them is the best option. If not, using hand signs that you've predetermined ahead of time and written in your score will greatly help as well. Now, as far as a text-based medium, we no longer can demonstrate the vowel shape. Ooh, ah, drop the jaw. None of that works anymore. So unless you've built in a sign language to identify each vowel, I also highly recommend, or even if you have, highly recommend the IPA cards, okay? The 11 vowel sounds and their meanings. I keep these laminated cards with me at all times and can pull them out at any moment during the rehearsal. When I had my permanent classroom, that is before we moved outside, keeping the 11 vowel sounds up above, behind you, and then a simple laser pointer, okay? If they're way, way up there in that wasted space in your choir room, a laser pointer and cards up there for the 13 vowel sounds. Let me show you how this works in case you need a refresher course in IPA. The vowel sounds are here, and I'm going to make them in one long stream. Okay, helping them understand the difference between the 11 sounds. We'll often start our warm-up holding up a card, and then change vowel when the card passes your way. Then I'll throw up a different vowel. Change vowel when the card passes your way. That way they're immediately associating the symbol with the sound. And then of course you have your two schwas, the and the okay? The accented schwa and the unaccented schwa. So being able to help steer the student's attention to the vowel sounds in this manner will greatly help your ability to deliver clarity of text. Now on to that next and very crucial element, our hands. It's what we went to school for, okay? Are we using them effectively during this time? They've become so much more important now. I'll start out by pointing out that during COVID, now that my mask is on, I've made special effort to make sure I'm wearing a contrasting color so the hands stand out very clearly while conducting. So make the wise wardrobe choices. The hands are connected to breath, which is where our singers get their power. Our singers are wind instruments. We have a little reed here and a big old bagpipe underneath. Help by creating a gesture that's nice and low. Think Tai Chi or yoga, connecting the sound here. It's something you can hold, it's something you can mold. I like to keep my horizontal plane at about navel level. That means a few things. That means that if I'm using a music stand, the stand needs to be nice and low and out of the way. Sometimes I'll conduct with it off to the side, so that even creates more transparency with the singers. That also means that if we have a habit of conducting right at the piano, or worse yet, while playing at the piano, we need to get that instrument out of the way so that we can communicate with transparency with our singers. Isn't that what we all want? So the hands, keep breath in that sound, keep a nice low gesture. Let's get away from this, okay? Connect it to the sound. Secondly, tone. There are schools of thought where the fingers actually create what a singer will see in their soft palate. So a nice curved finger, curved hand approach to help with that. Our fingers spread out jazz hand style will get a nice bright sound. Ah, ah, oh. The singers will be mimicking, their soft palate will be mimicking what they see in your hands. So pay particular attention to that. We don't get to do it here anymore, but we can certainly do it here. Okay? A nice lifted sound. Now we're going to really hone the pattern and talk about precision. And if it's been a while since we've done a conducting course, that's fine. Remember, there are 3 elements to the conducting gesture: the preparation, the ictus, and the rebound. Preparation, ictus, rebound. Ictus is simply a fancy word for change of direction. But we've got to make sure that those are the moments that we are changing direction, and we're not changing direction at other moments. Okay? So we have preparation in a 4/4 pattern. Preparation, ictus, rebound. Preparation, ictus, rebound. Preparation, ictus, rebound. Preparation, ictus, rebound. Preparation, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Be acutely aware of those. And if we can really hone in our precision in our gesture at this time, all the better for it. Okay? So we're going to talk about a way to do that. I give my students a fermata exercise often, where we have to pay attention to the rebound. One common mistake of people is moving the rebound of 1 that way too early. Our rebound of after 1 is in the opposite direction of 2. 1, 2, instead of 1, 2, 1, 2, so that we can play with that. we're going to use a fermata exercise to help become much more aware of the pattern and its usages. With fermatas, we can handle them in 3 different ways. We have the continuous fermata, or the green light fermata. We have the breath fermata, or the yellow light. We have the caesura fermata, or the red light. Now, if I put this on beat 3 in my gesture, so we're talking about this moment at all times, I'm going to handle them very differently. And once that pattern becomes instinctual and habit, your singers no longer need to guess. How tired we get of saying the words, no breath, or, and breathe, okay? What if we could do that with a signal? We can. Okay, so we have our continuous, our breath, and our caesura. If we're putting that on beat 3, our continuous rebound is going to be this way. Let's practice that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? If we're singing, a mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark. Okay? We don't need to tell our singers, no breath there. They'll see that 4 is next. The next caesura is, or the next fermata is the breath fermata. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1. When I give a breath fermata, we're going to go the opposite way of the track. 1, 2, 3, reverse so that we can hit 3 again. 4. And the 3 again is the second breath. So we're going to hit 3 twice. 2 times. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Let's practice that. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark. Okay, got it? Now the next one is the caesura fermata, where we're going to take the pattern backwards again. We'll actually hit 3 thrice. So this was 3 one time. Okay, 3 once, 3 twice, 3 times. I'll show you what I mean. 1, 2, 3 reverse, 3 stop, 3, 4, 1. Let's put it in context. 1, 2, 3. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark. Now if I sing the numbers, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so now we're going to do the fermatas back to back. We'll do a measure of this with a continuous, then a breath, then a caesura. And really putting it into the right hand so that that's consistent always. That's key. Here we go. 1, 2, stretch. 4, 1, 2, breath. 4, 1, 2, caesura. 4, 1. Okay? And moving that exercise through, sometimes I'll go many measures one after another of the continuous, then many measures of a breath. So there's a refresher course. I use that exercise to help define the pattern a lot, okay? So let's be aware of what we're doing. It helps raise awareness of the pattern. So let's do that. Let's do a measure for free and then continuous. And then a measure for free, and then a breath, a measure for free, then caesura. Back and forth on beat 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, continuous. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now put a breath. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now a caesura. 1, 2, 3, stop. 3, 4, 1, 2. Now I'm illustrating it just on beat 3, but the same thing would apply on beats 2, 1, or 4. Okay? Now let's put it in context. We're going to do one of these, back to one of those again, and then caesura. So continuous breath, continuous caesura. Here we go. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3. 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Got it? So, use your the fermata exercise as a way to add precision to your gesture. And we don't need these. We don't need this. We just put it all in the one hand. Can you tell a story for your singers? And I attest to you that there are times where you can do this and you can make true decisions out there on the stage that are spontaneous. And yes, even with young singers, once they see the consistency in your pattern. All right. Now we're going to talk about articulation, right? Yes. Okay. Staccato, legato, marcato, and tenuto. Now with that pattern, now that we've refined our 1, 2, 3, and 4, with legato, simply making it more horizontal, that tells the singer all they need to know. We don't need to say, make that smooth, okay? Just making it legato. Practice a 4 pattern, 2, 3, here I'll even mirror you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There we go. When we want staccato, we add a little wrist. We don't need to yell, make it staccato. We can put it in our pattern. Little wrist. Okay. Now when we want marcato, we break that plane. We have our plane here at our navel. 1, 2, that's default. When we want marcato, all we need to do is shatter that thing. Got it? Let's go back to legato. Horizontal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Marcato. 2, 3. Staccato. Wrist. 3, 4, 1. The last thing is with tenuto, we're going to exaggerate the rebounds when we want that pulling taffy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Pulling that taffy. Okay, let's back to legato. Back to staccato. Wrist. If we want a light sound, bring that plane up. Just like we did with marcato, we broke through it. A lighter sound, elevate the plane. Now, if this is where we're habitually conducting, we no longer have that tool. Then we're asking for a supported sound up here and not down here. That way we can get a lighter sound up here. Okay. Onset and releases we'll talk about a little bit later when we explore some Laban descriptors, okay? The Laban efforts. So we'll explore a little bit more with that. But in case your right hand is a little out of shape, go ahead and practice. Make sure that we're going back to rudiments. What is the pattern and what is it for? Okay, now that we've spent some time working on the right hand, with all its wonderful things, breath, tone, precision, articulation, and onset and releases. Now that leaves this hand. What can the left hand do that the right hand can't? Most of us spend a lot of time doubling, and that's great. Doubling has its purpose when we want to draw attention to a special moment. Say a fermata like we just did. 1, 2, 3, breath. 4, 1. But then let's take it away. Otherwise, we're just operating on one engine when we could have 2. So what can this hand do that this hand is not doing? The left hand can double periodically. The left hand can just encourage support, if nothing else, if it's just here, encouraging support. The left hand can illustrate line. We don't have to shout, we don't have to yell, we don't have to raise our eyebrows. We can put it here. All right? The left hand can assist with dynamics. It's a forte, it's a piano, it's a crescendo, it's a diminuendo. Okay, calm down. All right? The left hand can invite people, can invite as an entrance. Okay, I had a mentor once say to me that a cue, as we all learned it in undergrad, a cue is just an invitation. There. Now, a release is the opposite of invitation. A release is thank you. Thank you, that was lovely. Okay, that's what this hand can do and be free for. This hand can also help with diction. Say you want a good crisp T. Got it? We can put it there. The left hand can also aid in balancing your choir. Come on, tenors. Come on, give it a little bit more. Very good. Whoa, whoa. Alto twos, take it easy. Got it? Need to calm down, as Taylor Swift would say. Got it? When we're balancing the choir, we want encouraging things. We want gestures of calm down, not gestures of shame. Okay, gone are the days where this is an acceptable gesture. All right? And then the last thing, of course, the left hand, we've all been there. The left hand can do an awful lot of classroom management. Okay? We don't have to stop the rehearsal. If this is automatic, we can keep that going. Come on, Tim. Are you with me? All right, I got you. All right. So, how do we create this independence? Well, the first is making sure that this is habit. The second is just exercising that with some nonsense things that will help get that forward. So, back up. Time to stand back up. I'm going to give you 2 exercises to help divorce this hand from this hand. All right? The first is simply a right hemisphere, left hemisphere thing that I'll give to my, even my singers. We'll rehearse with this. We'll start a warm-up with this in mind to help engage the brain and bring focus. Okay? We're going to do a 2 pattern. It's not really a 2 pattern, but 1, 2, 1. Join me. 1, 2. If I'm working with young singers, I'll have them snap. All right. Now, let's go to a 3 pattern. Okay? So we're going to take the 2 out. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. And again, you can add the snaps if that will help your ensemble get together. This is something you can practice with your students, where really it's helping you become more independent with your pattern, but helping keep them focused. Got it? Now let's go back to 2. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, I know that's not a 2 pattern, but for this exercise it is. All right. Now, back to 3. Go. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. All right. Now let's go back to 2. Now, you feel like you're doing all right. So now let's take that right hand, which is this one. I'll mirror you. The right hand is going to go into 3, while the left hand remains in 2. Ready? Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Keep it up. 2, 3. One more round. 2, 3. 1. They meet up. Let's go to 2. 1, 2. Good. Let's give that one more shot. Okay? Right hand is going into 3. Left hand stays in 2. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Nice. 1, 2. Back into 2. Good. 1, 2. All right, hot shot. We've done that for a few times. Now your right hand is solidly in 3. Okay? Now, let's return the favor. Let the left hand go in 3. Let's up. We're going to level up, as the youngins would say. All right? Here we go. Left hand into 3. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Good. Let them meet up in 2, 2, 1, 2. Good. Let's do that once more. Left hand goes into 3. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Good. Let's add the snaps back in, just to stay together as a class. All right, they're going to meet up. Let's put them into 2. Good. All right, now let's say we've done that a few days. Now, let's make the right hand in 3, and then every time they meet up, the hands will switch places. Ready? Here we go. Right hand into 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Meet up. Left hand. Ha-ha. 1, 2. Meet up. Right hand. Meet up. Left hand. There you go. Back into 2. Good. So take that into your classrooms. That's a way to practice your conducting gesture. Give it a silly little game. Okay? It's like the old, pat your head and rub your belly or whatever. Okay? Got it? So something that keeps independence. Now let's apply it again to conducting. Now let's put a solid 4 pattern in our right hand. Okay? 1, 2. This is another exercise that I do a lot. 1, 2. Now with our left hand, we're going to paint a clock face. All right? This isn't something I would ever do in conducting, but it helps this become automatic, and it helps smooth this out to have its own adventures. Okay? So here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to paint a smooth clock face. Ready, go. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Reverse. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you're doing this exercise, make sure that the left hand is not jerking with the ictus. Okay? Stay away from keeping an ictus. Okay? Got it? So we're going for smooth. One more time. Put this in 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Let's do clock face. 4, 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Reverse. 11, 10. Can we make our right hand marcato? 5, 6. Okay, got it. 3, 2, 1. Got it. Even more marcato. Smooth that left hand out. Got it. That way we can develop that independence. Okay? Once you've mastered that clock face, that really helps divorce them. Okay? Sorry, I shouldn't use that word. That helps separate the two. Then we get our right hand going, and then we can do a line. Let's do 4 counts of line. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. Bring it back. 1, 2. Helps with phrasing. 1, 2. How often are we asking our singers to do a 4-bar phrase? Let's do a 4-bar phrase. Okay? So it'd be 16 counts of one line. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tell them to keep going. 1, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and go. All right, so our left hand independence will help us have 2 engines rather than 1. Once again, here's that list. Now we're going to finish up today by just talking about the 8 Laban efforts. Rudolf Laban studied movement and dance and music through his whole career and categorized movement in the following manner, in 8 words. Flick, float, slash, ring, punch, press, dab, and glide. These are the 8 descriptors of Laban. Now if we zoom out, this chart makes a little bit more sense. Our friends in theater down the hall from us study and know this. Our friends in dance down the hall from us study and know this. It's absolutely connected to conducting and can maximize the effects that you want out of your gesture. So we have that chart. We're going to zoom out. The light efforts, or the light descriptors, are on the top half. The heavy are on the bottom half. Think about the movement of dab. That's a light gesture. Gliding, flick, or floating. All of those are light, have some air in them. Heavy side of things are press, punch, ring, and slash. Now the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of this chart are also different. I should do right and left, sorry. The right side of it and the left side also have meaning. So take a look. On the right side, we have flick, float, slash, and ring, all indirect motions. On the left side, we have the direct motions of glide, dab, press, and punch. And then in the quadrants, okay, each of the 4 quadrants, you have the sustained version of that and the sudden version of that. So looking up just at the northwest quadrant, glide and dab. Glide is a sustained version of dab. So if we dab something, dab, dab, we glide. It has direction, okay? It's not indirect, it's direct, gliding somewhere. Whereas float is the indirect of that same thing. We float somewhere. We float. We glide somewhere. We dab somewhere. That's direct. What's the indirect version of dab? If we just don't care where the direction goes, we flick. Indirect. Got it? So, all of those light ones, let's go around the top. We have our dab once again. Dab, dab, dab. We have glide, going somewhere. Gliding somewhere, glide, glide. We have float, that's the indirect. And we have flick, flick, flick it, flick it, flick it. Now let's look at the bottom half of that. We have press, punch, ring, and slash. If we press something, you're pushing for a long time. That's sustained. Press it, press it, press it. But that's to a specific direction. Now if we're going to ring something, that's indirect. We're moving it. Okay, got it? Now we have our heavy punch as well. Punch something, punch, that's direct. And then we have the indirect version of that, which is slash it. Slash, slash, slash. Making a mess. Making a gory, gross mess. So if we explore these motions, dab, glide, flick, float, ring, got it, ring, punch, press, and slash. When can those come in handy in our gesture? All right, let's put releases. Let's explore some of the releases. Those would be the sudden movements, okay, generally. So if we have a 4 pattern, and what if we want to release on one? Let's dab that. Dab. 1, 2, now we dab, dab. That's a different release. Boom, boom. Then we'll say a flick. 2, 3, 4. Got it? A flick release. 2, 3, 4. Okay. How about a slash release? That's the indirect heavy. 1, 2. Got it? We might use that on occasion. How about a punched release? 1, 2. Got it? That has direction. That has purpose. Slash is that joyous release. Okay, maybe our string players. Okay, got it? So, now how could we use the sustained gestures? Let's put the sustained gestures over the entire macro, okay, over the 4/4. So let's sustain, let's do float first, okay? So here we go, 1, 2, now let's float that. 1, 2, 3. Just float it. Good. Got it? Now let's glide that. Ready? Gliding has direction. It's still light. It's still elevating that plane, but has direction. Good. Now let's ring. Okay? As if you're wringing out a dish rag. Got it? There's angst in it. There's motion. It's sustained. It's never ending. Then let's float. Okay? Got it? The last one is press. We're going to push, press, move through it. That has direction. Okay? That's sustained direction versus ringing, indirect. Ringing is all over the place. Maybe I misspoke earlier and said that one wrong. Okay? Got it? Ringing is all over the place. Pressing has direction. Got it? So these now let's combine them. Let's do a press. Okay, we're pressing, has direction, and then we're going to end with a flick. Something nice and light. Okay, press, 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 press. We're going to flick on 1, 2, ready, and everything the tension just released. Got it? Now let's do a glide with a slash or a punch at the end. So we're using the top hemisphere and then going to the bottom hemisphere. So we're gliding, glide, nice and smooth, glide, ready, punch on 1. And, all right, now let's glide and let's put a slash on 1. That's an exciting ending. Gliding, gliding, ready, and. So, exploring these Laban, these 8 words, okay? These 8 descriptors, the 8 Laban efforts as they're called, will really help put more into the hands that we don't have to say here. Finally, in conclusion, thank you. Thank you. It's been a joy to present this information for you. I hope you found something useful. Now, when I suggest that we need to keep all 4 engines running, the hope is that we will come out of each rehearsal less tired, because amidst all of this, amidst all of this, if we feel like we're only running on 1 engine as well, that's going to just lead to total exhaustion and collapse. Okay, so we have our hands, both of them. We have our face. We have our words. You already have the passion. Keep integrating all of those things and keep up the great work. Again, there's a handout available at this website, uwfsingers.com/ACDA. And you're welcome to reach out to me with any questions or references that you might like to have. We're all in this together. Hang in there. I'm proud of you. You're doing great work.